Hello, EKN Nation. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole for a new edition of This Week in Karting. Welcome to the EKN Radio Network or any of the EKN podcast platforms. Episode 33 of This Week in Karting, April 28th, 2021. Of course, these editions of these particular podcasts kind of bring in all the major news that's hit the EKN homepage over the last couple of weeks. Get a lot of feedback from people from EKN Nation using these podcasts on the way to work, on the way home. Great way to download them to your mobile device and stream them through the car while you're heading back home, or maybe just when you're working on the cart in the shop, getting ready for the next race. Bring you up to speed on everything that's happening in the sport. Today's edition of This Week in Karting presented by AMAX Racing. AMAX Racing and their operation is focused on driver development for karters of all ages. From top-level drivers to grassroots racers or families looking for a team that will help them achieve their goals, AMAX Racing can guide you with the absolute best trackside service at affordable prices. No matter the chassis, AMAX Racing welcomes you and has the experience to put you on the top of the podium. AMAX Racing, all of your karting needs under one tent. Well, David, another edition of this week in karting. We might just want to change the name.
We're not going to change the name. I've already talked about it with people that are, that have tuned in and they love what we do. They love the name. It's sticking that way.
It's sticking.
And again, we'll say it again. We just sometimes don't have the time or the news to have a show. March was a busy month and it ended with a busy period going into April. So it just, sometimes things just don't work out the way that you want to. And I love the name. It just, you can't change it now.
So the last show was March the 19th, 2021 again. So over almost essentially a month and a half ago. It's been a while since we did one of these shows. And for me, and you're probably just old enough, David. For me, it's a throwback to This Week in Baseball. I used to love watching that show with Mel Allen, This Week in Baseball. So it's This Week in Karting. We're sticking with it. And yes, it could be this month in karting, but we're going to go.
It's like our SNL skit. It's called This Week in Karting, but it's every month or something
exactly
like that.
Right.
And we make fools out of ourselves during the first segment because of the time period between the shows.
Exactly. All right. Well, lots going on, of course, as we know over the last month. Of course, one of the biggest things, David, just came down recently. Superkarts USA announcing a date change for the 24th running of the Super Nationals. The event, of course, has been that weekend right before American Thanksgiving. But the World Series of Poker taking over the facility, the Rio Hotel, for the entire month. So the event getting moved to December the 1st to the 5th, first weekend in December.
Yeah, it obviously this is still due to COVID-19. The World Series of Poker is a I want to say almost a 2-month long event that happens at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino. It's typically wraps up just as we're getting ready to visit Vegas in November. But obviously, with things shifting due to COVID, this has shifted that event and now has shifted the Superkarts USA Super Nationals 24. Again, it's good. The one good thing that I will say about the release is that they're 100% in. They're going to have an event no matter what happens. Yeah. There could still be some travel issues with international drivers. That's something that's going to have to be looked at over the next 4 to 5 months as we move in closer to the December opening weekend of December. So they're 100% in. So they're going to have an event no matter what. And I think that's key moving forward.
Agreed. 7 months away. Let's hope that vaccinations and everything that's happening can get people back to normal. But again, as you said, David, we'll see what happens in terms of travel restrictions. But they are having the race. That's fantastic. Number 24 going in the books. It will be, we're told, the sole karting event at the Rio All Suites Hotel and Casino this year, which would mean the Rock the Rio then would potentially, now we haven't had any confirmation, but potentially could get moved to another facility.
Yeah, Rock Cup USA just posted something on social media stating a new location, same weekend, first weekend of November, but a new location, new racetrack, a new host hotel. So I think Rock Vegas is going to be the new name of the event.
All right. Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's going to be some news that'll be breaking probably within the next week or so.
Okay. Obviously a positive to have the Super Nationals back once again. Again, missing it last year. Man, that week before Thanksgiving, I was feeling weird about it because I've of course announced all the races or been part of the announcing team at all the races, and to not have that event, man, really was weird. Uh,
Well,
okay,
I
go.
you know, and I think with the date change, it helps kind of free up the schedule for international drivers if they're able to
Yeah,
come
you're
over
right.
because you have the World Championships. I want to say the end of October, but you had a WSK event that was going to be scheduled right on top of the annual date for the Super Nationals. So essentially, the Super Nats now becomes the last event of the 2021 calendar. I think worldwide, maybe possibly when you look
Oh,
at in terms of
I like
major
that.
events around the world. The world the only downside is the Rotax Grand Finals I believe are on the same weekend. So
Oh
there
no.
is that. So
Yeah,
there is that. That's going to hurt obviously some of the drivers who do earn tickets through that and are able to compete in Bahrain. But again, the Rio facility was move their date, and it's kind of the date that you're given, and you don't want to get too close to the Christmas break for sure.
agreed. Yeah, it's gonna be colder too. That'll be one thing. It'll be chilly. Hopefully, hopefully Vegas will get a bit of a warm streak during the
Well,
first.
I mean, it is a desert,
Yeah,
and
hold
if
on.
if the sun's shining, it typically is warm when you're in Vegas. But yeah, most of us from the north, it'll still be like a vacation.
That's true. That's true. Where I was going with that from the beginning, obviously a positive, the Super Nats back. The negative in this particular start of the segment, uh, when we learned that they were ceasing operations and actually shutting down and actually now digging up the Ocala Grand Prix circuit in Ocala, Florida. That track has been kind of right as I won't say a foundation racetrack in Florida, part of all the Winter Series programs for many years, over 20 years. But David, yeah, being told that I haven't seen any pictures, but I think I was told the track they actually dug the track up like a week after the announcement. So Ocala is no more.
Yeah, it's kind of bittersweet. Well, it's we kind of joke about the size of it being a small racetrack, but it produced a lot of great racing. But in terms of history, it produced a lot of great racers and a lot of great karters.
Yeah, you're right.
Ocala Grand Prix and George really put together a strong racing team through the late 2000s and earlier this decade as well too, or really the last 2 decades. Just you talk about when you look at Road to Indy right now, or guys who are in IndyCar kind of have gone through there.
Yeah,
You look at like a Spencer Pigot, Oliver Askew, Kyle Kirkwood in the road to Indy right now. Just the amount of Gary Carlton was part of it for a long
yeah.
time.
Ashley
All
Rogero.
the different Ashley Rogero,
Yeah,
just Morgan Healy, Nick Neri, just a lot of names that have been part of it. And all the wrenches that have worked through there. That called Ocala home at one
yeah.
time. It's
Agreed.
just yeah, it is bittersweet, but life moves on. George has found a new direction to go with the property, and one thing that can be said is maybe this will help the other Florida racetracks kind of pick up their pace because
That's true.
George set the bar high for karting in Florida. With a lot of the international and national events coming there, and again, just the drivers and staff that he was able to put through those doors.
Yeah, I had a chance to race there early on. I think it was 2000 or 2001 when I did a shifter program for myself for Shifter Card Illustrated magazine. We have announced races there. SCUSA Winter Series. First of all, Florida Winter Tours, SCUSA program, Stars of Karting. So many different events ran at the Ocala Grand Prix. And again, it's got a great history. Sad to see it go. Again, being the land now being used as a storage area right beside the flea market that's there, and you hate to see a track go to be a storage, but there's a lot going on in karting in Florida right now. We don't need to go into that now, but I can understand George Orlando just saying, hey, you know what, it's had a good run. Let's just move in a different direction that's not so time consuming or maybe stressful. Uh, oh yeah, more David. I heard a breath there.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, that's just kind of how businesses evolve. It is. It's just I'm kind of upset because I didn't get to make laps on it.
Yeah.
You just mentioned that, and I'm like, man, yeah, you know what? I never got to drive a kart around there.
Yeah, the other time, I think the last time I drove it, I drove and they had the Bill Wright, Florida Winter Tour, had the Canada Cup where
Oh yeah,
remember
yes,
he was bringing all the Canadians came down to run the Honda 4-cycle engines,
yep.
to do a 4-cycle class, and I can't remember who somebody had a cart for me to jump into, and I can't remember whose it was. I don't even remember. Uh, all I know for sure is that it was a Burrell, the Burrell chassis that had kind of the X bar in the middle. And I can't remember, I think it was RY30. I can't remember what it was called, but I know that Jim Russell Jr. was there and he said, I drove that kart. He goes, that's the worst go kart I ever drove. And it was a force. Like I could hardly turn the thing. I was so tired I could hardly hold my head up by the end of the weekend.
Was it Monteith or maybe Rissa Racing? I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'm not if it was with Ricer Racing or I can't remember who had the cart for me to drive. I can't even remember right now, off the top of my head. I know I'm pretty sure that I wore Gary Osterholt's suit or something like that too. I can't remember. We're gonna go find a picture of that somewhere. Anyway,
I was just gonna say that's kind of like twins when you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. Though.
That's true. I'm a little smaller than Gary. That's true.
Yeah.
All right, folks. First,
at least height wise.
Yeah, that's easy, Tex. First break of the action. We get back. We're going to talk a little about USAC karting. We're going to talk about the United States Karting Grand Prix. Talk a little Rotax as well. Stay with us, folks. More to come. This edition of This Week in Karting. It all started in 1994 when former successful kart driver Albino Parolin decided to move his passion for karting from the track to his small workshop. That's when Parolin was born. Fast forward 20 years, and Parolin's passion for the sport led to the company rejoining international competitions as a factory team in WSK and CIK FIA races, with the aim of enhancing the research and development process, immediately achieving notable results around Europe, North America, and Asia, becoming the CIK FIA Asia Pacific KZ champion in the same year. Parolin USA is North America's source for Parolin products, and we run a factory team at all of the major Superkarts USA and Rock Cup USA events. The Parolin chassis lineup for 2021 includes the Invader Shifter, the Le Mans Tag single-speed chassis for junior and senior classes, and the 28mm mini kart for the cadet classes. Parolin has been winning races all over the world, and it's on top of the podium in the USA as well, with drivers like Kai Sorensen, Mateus Orjuela, and Alessandro De Tullio. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. For more information, head to ParolinUSA.com. The Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is where out-of-the-box ease and outstanding consistency meet to create legendary races. Briggs & Stratton's history of motorsports dates back to when the first engines came off the assembly line in the early 1900s. Their focus on the grassroots level continues to help build generations of racers. Since 2008, the Briggs & Stratton 206 has gained a following that has the engine powering the largest fields in North American karting today. From the club level track programs to traveling regional series and national events, Briggs & Stratton competition provides the most exciting racing in the sport. Engineered and hand-built exclusively for racing, every Briggs & Stratton 206 engine is power tested and serialized before it goes in the box. Karters can take that engine straight from the box to their kart and be on the podium at the end of race day. Be sure to follow Briggs & Stratton Racing on Facebook and through @RaceBriggs on Instagram. To learn more about the 206 engine or to find the North American dealer near you, head to BriggsRacing.com. Briggs & Stratton Racing, what powers you? Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network and the EKN Podcast Program. Rob Howden alongside David Cole for a new edition of This Week in Karting. Episode number 33. It's April 28th. David, let's talk a little bit about the USAC karting. I think everybody would love to hear potentially of a date for the Battle at the Brickyard at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I just can't see that happening here for 2021. But USAC does announce that the Thor Industries Elkhart Riverwalk Grand Prix is coming back.
Yes, a one-off event that is certainly unique and special. for those in the Midwest area. This was an event that was that dates back into the 80s and 90s. Was super huge back then, gaining hundreds and hundreds of racers from around the country and around the world actually joining there. So USAC's kind of, I think they rekindled this event probably, I want to say 3 years ago. Again, not the same actual layout that used to be run back in the day, but again, getting karts out on the streets and making it a festival-like event. That's something that the city of Elkhart is getting behind and is working alongside with USAC Karting to make it something that is unique and special for karters. It is on the August 13 through 14 weekend, and that includes actual night racing, as they have practice, qualifying, and special events on the Friday, with Saturday continuing with practice, heat races, and the main events as with the lights coming on towards the end of the day. So night racing in the streets, something that is unique with karting.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's just such a fantastic approach. Again, you mentioned, David, a ton of concerts going on, a cornhole tournament, plus all the racing. It's a little bit different approach, right? It's not just about the racing; it's about the kind of the event, the festival as a whole. I think it's something that I know. I want to get to the race one time. I can't this year, but man, I'm looking forward to one day being part of it.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's scheduled the same weekend as the SCUSA Pro Tour Summer Nationals, so we'll both be there in Newcastle. So that is the only downfall. Unfortunately, when you're working with a city and racing on the city streets, you're kind of given the date and you have to roll with it. And USAC does that. And again, most of their effort is towards grassroots racers. Especially with the street racing that it is. You get a lot of competitors from the Rock Island Grand Prix or Quincy Grand Prix. Drivers from Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, all around the Midwest. So, and hearing some racers from across the country are set to contend this year. So we'll see. We'll see if that event, with its comeback from the COVID-19 break, is able to succeed again.
Another new event getting debuted this year. It'll be July 23rd to 25th, the United States Karting Grand Prix in Utah Motorsports Campus up there near Salt Lake City in Grantsville, Utah. David, this is another one of these crossover events. We just talked about you being down at Charlotte for the WK Charlotte Karting Challenge with the sprint track, the road track, and the dirt track at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is essentially leveraging everything they have essentially at Utah Motorsports Campus. It'll be a full road race event and a full sprint event on the sprint track.
Yeah, it's and again, another unique concept. Something we're seeing WK obviously bank off of with the Daytona Kart Week and now the Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge. Their WK is working with a number of organizations, those along the East Coast, and I believe Tag USA from their Chicago base, working together to put on this event. And again, a unique location where you actually have a sprint track and a road racing circuit on the same facility. So something we want to see more of. Obviously, kart tracks at these bigger facilities is certainly gaining ground, gaining momentum as they see karting as somewhat of a pathway to get people more involved and get that firsthand take on what karting or what racing is all about. So this weekend or that weekend, July 23rd through 22nd or 25th, is going to obviously have the two different programs. Sprint racing will be spread over 3 days. You have 3 rounds of practice and qualifying on Friday, 3 rounds of heat races on Saturday, with the main events on Sunday. Road racing, a very typical road racing event where you practice by groups on Friday, and then you race, have 2 separate race days, one on Saturday with 8 race groups, and then another on Sunday with 8 different race groups as well, too.
Yeah, and they've got a couple cool things going on as well. On the road racing side, they have the 2021 Superkart Shootout. If you're a fan of road racing or just karting, superkarts are damn cool. They just are. 3 heat races and a main event. So a bit of a different approach for the superkart guys. Instead of running like a long 45-minute race, 3 heat races and a main event to award the number 1 plate as well. $2,500 for the win, $1,000 for second, $500 for third. Dave, hopefully it'll start drawing the supercarts from all over the country, because there's lots out there. But if this event is able to draw guys from the West Coast and the East Coast, it could be the biggest supercart race of the year.
Yeah, and it's been held there before in the previous kind of event that was held at Utah Motorsports, or what was Miller Motorsports Park back at the time. So supercarts are very familiar with this racetrack but there's a number of new racers and new competitors in that category that probably haven't been to Utah. So hopefully we'll get guys from the East Coast, guys from the West Coast, all getting together and competing in that.
Talk a little bit about the Tilson T225 four-cycle class program too.
That's geared towards obviously the sprint track. The T225 engine package is something that they're trying to grow within the United States. Kind of a spec package with both the chassis and the engine. They're doing a class there on the sprint side of things where the winner is actually going to get a $1,500 payday along with a ticket to the Tilson T4 World Cup, which will be held in Europe this September. The ticket includes obviously a T4 kart and engine package, along with practice and race tires that go along with the entry fee to the event. So a chance for somebody to race internationally after winning at the United States Karting Grand Prix.
Yeah, pretty cool deal. Let's move and switch gears, David, and talk a bit of Rotax. The Race Rotax USA program announcing the Rotax Trophy West Series. A couple of races, one in August, one in October.
Yeah, it's kind of the startup from what they developed last year with the Rotax Trophy East program that was kind of based in the New York area. They were, I believe, last year was 3 races after the COVID-19 pandemic. This year they're doing 4. So now they've kind of taken that and kind of carbon copied it over to the West Coast. And right now they have 2 facilities that are going to be hosting events. August 27th through the 29th will be at the Grand Junction Motor Speedway in Grand Junction, Colorado, followed up on October 1st through the 3rd at the Phoenix Kart Racing Association in Glendale, Arizona.
Yeah, basic deal. Practice on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday will be racing. They'll stick with the 1 engine per competitor. And what I like, 1 set of tires, David, as well, from qualifying through to the final race. So tire management, definitely a key, both at Grand Junction and at Phoenix for this Trophy Series West.
Yeah, again, Rotax is trying to establish that base level with the Rotax program. Certainly, we've talked about it many different podcasts before, and doing this West and East programs are certainly going to do it. And one good thing about both of these programs is that they're open to international drivers, so drivers are able to come and compete from any country, be it Canada or Mexico or anywhere else, because tickets for the 2021 Rotax Grand Finals are going to be awarded to series champions. So that is where majority of our Team USA members are going to come from, are from the Rotax Trophy East and Rotax Trophy West programs. So again, a very crucial part to what we hope to continue seeing good success at the Rotax Grand Finals for Team USA.
Time for another quick break here on this edition of This Week in Karting. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit about some Wisconsin programs coming up. We'll talk Pacific Northwest. We'll talk Buckeye Karting Challenge. And we also got a staff announcement as well coming from GFC Karting. So stay tuned. More to come. Leading Edge Motorsports is the industry answer to winning in karting. At the helm is industry veteran Greg Bell, who has orchestrated the success of many drivers dating back to the mid-1990s. Based in Lodi, California, Leading Edge Motorsports is the Western importer with IP karting that includes the Praga and Formula K chassis brands. Leading Edge Motorsports provides in-depth driver development for those racers in Northern California and across the country. Arrive and drive services, kart preparation, and driver coaching are available under the LEM tent throughout the season. Bell's record of working with drivers includes recent victories at North America's biggest karting events, including the Rock the Rio and the SCUSA Super Nationals. Greg Bell's knowledge for building engines spans 2 decades and is now under the Mega Power branding, providing a reliable engine service and tuning knowledge. No matter the chassis brand, choose Mega Power to get to the front. Click over to leadingedgemotorsports.com for more and find them on social media to stay connected. At Leading Edge Motorsports, winning never gets old. You can buy all the latest and greatest products on the market. But when you're karting to win, it boils down to one thing: you, the driver. Gain the knowledge and abilities by investing in yourself at the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, and you'll find those extra tenths of a second you need to put yourself on the podium. The school was established by SuperKarts USA Hall of Fame driver Alan Rudolph, with decades of victories and championships in multiple forms of the sport, including other disciplines of racing. The Alan Rudolph Racing Academy, located at the Speed Sports Racing Park in the metropolitan Houston area, is designed to teach driving skills at all levels. The instructors of the Academy have decades of racing experience and educating drivers of all ages. Classes at the Academy will teach the concepts and skills needed both behind the wheel and off the track. From the beginning kart racing experience and intro to karting courses, to their advanced 1-day and 2-day courses and karting clinics, the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can improve the skills of any driver. For more information on the specific programs that the Alan Rudolph Racing Academy can provide for you, head to speedsports.com and click on the Racing Academy page. Be sure to follow the Academy on social media by searching for Alan Rudolph Racing Academy. Welcome back to the EKN Radio Network, episode number 33 of This Week in Karting. It's April the 28th, 2021. David, let's get started here. We got an email landed at our desk about the 2021 Cheesehead Challenge Wisconsin State Championship. I love the fact that they're not backing away from the nickname, the Cheeseheads, and cool to see kind of a state championship for Wisconsin.
Yeah, these next two topics that we're going to be covering are kind of like the Operation Grassroots area.
Yeah.
We've been kind of helping to build and continue, because again, the base of the sport is where we need to see our growth, and this is something new and unique. Maybe not necessarily new, but new for those in Wisconsin. A little cooperation between two racetracks. You got the C-Tech Manufacturing Motorplex at Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, along with Badger Kart Club's home track of the Wolf Paving Raceway in Dallasman, Wisconsin, to decide to hold two events during the summer to kind of put a little state championship together. May 14th through the 16th, they'll be at Road America, followed by August 6th through the 8th at the at Dallasman facility. So the focus, again, grassroots, 100cc senior, masters, and juniors, Briggs 206 senior, junior, sportsman, and cadet. You add in a Mini Swift and Yamaha Super Can, and that's your categories for the program.
Well, David, and the cool thing about this is obviously bringing together those two facilities that are have solid club programs, but also there's kind of a focus on the reason with the funds that they make, the profit they make from the series going actually to the track, right?
Yeah, they're talking about the all the funds from the program going towards a repaving of the Badger Kart Club track, Wolf Paving Raceway. So again, that's clubs are not here to make lots of money, because it goes right back into the program, into the facility, or back to racers in the banquet. So again, that's what this program's kind of focused around. You can find out more information, and you go to the badgerkartclub.com website /cheesehead-challenge. So there's a link there on their main menu to be able to find out more information about it.
Yeah, David's talking about these kind of Operation Grassroots programs that are really at the foundation of our sport. If you look at the sport as a pyramid, we do focus a lot on the national level racing. But if you think about it, if there's 500 people that race nationally and 15,000 potentially that race throughout the country, that very top tip of the pyramid is such a tiny little 3% of the program, whereas that bottom rung of that bottom, the base, that foundation of the pyramid is really where all the racers are. And this is our Operation Grassroots program. And David, this program, of course, in Wisconsin, kind of the same thing happened out in the Pacific Northwest with the Northwest Border War Challenge that got established for drivers in the Briggs & Stratton 206 program. It's really cool. It's Oregon, it's Idaho, it's Washington, 3 different races, all focused around the Briggs 206 program. Bottom line is I love seeing tracks work together.
That's the main element in this program, because it is the tracks working together, because it's not just new events that they're adding, it's actual club events that they're using for this 3-event challenge that has been established. May 1st through the 2nd at Pat's Acres Racing Complex in Canby, Oregon. September 11th through the 12th at Cart, Idaho in Eagle, Idaho. and October 24th at Pacific Grand Prix in Kent, Washington. So this one's a little bit different though, because it's state versus state. That's kind of the border war part
I like it.
of the
Yeah.
challenge, where drivers are actually earning points for their home track or slash state. So those from the Pats Acres or Oregon, state of Oregon, are gaining points for that state. Those from Idaho gaining points for Idaho. Those
I
from
like it.
Washington gaining points for Washington. So at the end, they'll collect all the points for the respective classes and states, and be able to award the trophy to either the facility and state for winning the Northwest Border War Challenge.
I love it. I think that's such a cool approach, something a little bit different, and good on them. Speaking of Operation Grassroots, David, one of the series that kind of came to our attention over the last couple of years, and man, has really grown and is just absolutely a solid foundation program in the Ohio area. The Buckeye Karting Challenge, super great program, but cool to see them extend their partnership agreement with Klotz, and another one of the legendary names in motorsports over the last number of years. I remember racing. I ran Klotz for a number of years when I was doing my 4-cycle racing in Canada. Klotz Oils. They extend David as the title sponsor of the series through 2025.
I remember using it to mix with the 2-cycle fuel back in the day with the Yamahas and everything else like that.
I was actually on my cart was actually on a Klotz pamphlet in like 1997, I think. 96 or 97.
Well, you're a superstar, aren't you?
You're huge, right? Like, man, big time.
You are big time. Yeah. So again, Buckeye Karting Challenge, as you said, is really gaining momentum over the last few years. A lot of drivers from the state of Ohio have joined up to this program. Again, all racing at facilities in the state of Ohio. And Klotz has been a partner since I think that began
I think so,
a few years back, and have extended their title sponsorship through 2025. So they're certainly behind the program, and they're also supplying 4-cycle fuel. So in 2021, so the actual Klotz 4-cycle fuel will be the spec fuel for all Briggs 206 classes this season. And Klotz will have representatives there to provide technical assistance or just along with product as well at all the events this year. And the program kicks off on May 15th through the 16th at G&J Cartway in Camden, Ohio.
Mentioned before we went to break that we also had a bit of a staff announcement. One of the programs, the team slash brand slash companies that's really been growing big time over the last couple of years, and it's been really fun to watch because we of course have watched the benefactor, the name of the guy, Gary Carlton. We've watched him for many years come up through the ranks and be such a star over in Europe. Really one of the legends in our sport, to be honest. Gary and GFC Karting naming Sonny Cervelli as director of operations. David, this program is growing, and we watch them on social media. They're constantly bringing more carts in, selling more carts. Every race we go to, there's more GFCs out there. Cool to see the growth with Gary saying, you know what, I need someone to in the right position here, and moving Cervelli to director of operations.
Yeah, and it still hasn't been 3 years since Gary Carlton launched the GFC brand.
That's crazy.
I think it's at about 2.5 years right now, and it's certainly growing to the point where Gary can't do everything. He's got to establish a bit of a staff to kind of help guide the brand and the race team to a new level, an expanded level. And I think that's why he's brought on Sonny as the director of operations. So Sonny's going to essentially be kind of the man helping to continue to expand the brand, working with the dealers from coast to coast, but also a very key role in the race team that they've established. They have the young driver development program that they have going on. They also work with the Formula Works program down in Southern California. They have a big team there. So I'm sure Sonny is part of that as well too. And again, just working with the dealers and customers across the country. So, it's certainly, when you add somebody like, when you add a director of operations, that means the program is certainly growing and growing and growing.
Again, Sonny, one of the original GFC drivers, worked with Oliver Askew as well at the Rock de Rio, along with a lot of other drivers in recent years under the tent. David, let me ask you this, because you've been with me for 16 years now. You start feeling a little bit older when a guy that you covered in Tag Cadet is now running a team as a director of operations, because we've been covering Sonny Sorelli since he was a Tag Cadet racer.
Yeah, you didn't have to say Tag Cadet. I remember him in Tag Junior. I don't want to remember him in Tag Cadet. Well, I feel old already because, as we already mentioned the word, like a Spencer Piggott and Oliver Askew. Yes, those, Kyle Kirkwood. I remember him when he was a little tyke running around, making AJ Allmendinger's day a little bit hectic back in Tim Pappas and all those guys. Yeah, I am old. So I've gotten to the fact of that. My son's 13. So yeah, he's only, 2 years away from driving a car. That makes me feel old. Yes.
One more break of the action, folks. When we come back, we're just going to wrap up everything that we've had on eKarting News the last little bit. We'll talk about the podcasts that are available for you to download if you haven't already. David will let you know what he's going to be playing on EKN Radio Network over the next couple of days, and we'll tell you what's coming up in terms of EKN Live. Stay with us. We'll wrap things up on This Week in Karting after this break. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. Trackside support and arrive and drive programs are available in 2021 for the USPKS and the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour and Super Nationals, with full product sales and service and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer private, one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. Trinity Karting Group is also your Midwest home for Tony Kart and IAME, and we're your source for MG and Avinco tires in the region. Tony Kart quality cannot be beat, so call us today to put you in a new chassis for your next event. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. Acceleration Kart Racing is your first and only stop on the internet for karts, parts, and the safety gear you need to get you on the track. Visit shopakr.com for a great selection of karting equipment on a user-friendly website. Acceleration Kart Racing has aligned itself with many of the top manufacturers and distributors in the sport to ensure all the latest equipment is available to you, the racer. With over 20 years in business and customer support available 6 days a week, you can be confident about getting the right parts at the right price when you need them. Be sure to visit shopakr.com today or stop by their headquarters in Las Vegas. Make sure to follow Acceleration Kart Racing on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for the latest specials and new arrivals. Welcome back to This Week in Karting, episode number 33, April 28th, 2021. Rob Howden alongside David Cole. David, a lot of stuff going up. Original editorial on EKN. Give us a run through of all the stuff that we cranked out.
Well, let's begin. I think I mentioned this in the last This Week in Karting, but I'll say it again. Our February driver of the month, Connor Zillage. I believe that came out as we recorded the last This Week in Karting, but we'll mention it again after a solid month of February. Month of March, though, is Jeremy Fletcher. That's our driver of the month for this month, or for that month, with his victories, multiple victories at the United States Pro Kart Series and victories at the SuperKarts Pro Tour Winter Nationals. So this year's looking good. A lot of drivers are stepping up and gaining a number of victories, because I think March we had like maybe 8 honorable mention drivers. So, and again, a busy month of racing, but a number of drivers putting in strong performances.
A lot of race coverage as well. Of course, David was trackside at the Challenge of the Americas out in Sonoma, the finale. I was at the Superkarts USA Pro Tour Winter National, so lots of race coverage there. And we weren't trackside for everything, but we still cranked out a bunch of race reports for you, David. Texas Sprint Racing Series, their winter warm-up race at NOLA. The Route 66 Sprint Series at Newcastle, which is, of course, was the kind of warm-up for the event as well, copying this weekend of the USPKS. You also cranked out reports for the Stars Championship opener and the Texas Sprint Racing Series Spring Roundup at NTK. Lots of race reports on the site.
Yeah, a lot of racing over the last, as you said, month and a half since our last show. So that's kind of kept us busy doing that, as well as Trackside Live that we've been doing, and then Trackside coverage. We also did the WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge with the Vega Road Racing Series. That is also up on the website as well. We did our first launch of the EKN driver rankings on April 2nd, 2021 for shifter kart and tag racing. AJ Myers remains the number one in shifter kart standings, with Ryan Norberg now the new number one in tag competition. A lot of debate about him being number one. And again, it's not just the 2021 races. It's the 12-month period. I got to remind everybody about that because that was the big complaint. Like, well, why is Connor Zillage not number one? Well, because he just started racing, and Ryan Norberg has all those Pro Tour races from last year that are still in that 12-month calendar period. So I think by the time we get to August and September, that's when we're going to kind of really see who really is the standout for the 2021 season. So
yeah, say it again. The rankings are a sliding 12-month scale. It's what you've done, the body of work over the last 12 months, and we take your best 7 races. So that's the thing. Yeah.
We're not going to call it the driver rankings 12 months. It's just too long.
That's exactly it. I was actually able to sit down and have a one-on-one interview with Alan Berg from the Alan Berg Racing Schools. That was a really cool interview. This is the guy that really took his career into his own hands, ended up winning a bunch of races, did F3 and battled against Ayrton Senna and Martin Brundle, and then went and ran Formula One for Acela. Starts his own racing school, had a team, then started the racing school, the Allenberg Racing Schools, which is now at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. And it was, obviously it's a great school for anybody wanting to go from karts to cars. Obviously, Alan's school is fantastic. You get to race at Laguna, which is awesome. But he's also a karting dad too, right, David? So to be able to ask those kind of questions about, how he's dealt with his son as well, I thought it was a really good one-on-one. I enjoyed it.
A lot of information to digest that he provided throughout the interview, and again, just the racing resume I wasn't aware of. I knew obviously he had the Formula One experience and it was there, but just the diversity that he has in a background of racing. So certainly helps back up the school and what he does as an educator, but as you said, now transitioning to a racing dad, and has been doing a great job with Alex in that, right?
Last but not least, and on a sad note, I hate when I have to do this, but I had to write an obituary for John Motley, a longtime Superkarts USA National Tech Director, was part of the IKF as well, an industry member with his own team, Race Kart Engineering. John passed away earlier this year, and again, we say goodbye to John. Good friend of ours, and had a lot of fun with him throughout the years. David, EKN podcast review. A lot of shows getting put up in our podcast program since our last This Week in Karting. All available, of course, on EKN or through iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podbean, iHeartRadio, whatever it may be, all the podcast outlets. Give us a lineup of all the stuff that's now available.
Well, of course, you can get the last edition of This Week in Karting, episode 32 from March 19th. If you haven't downloaded it, get to it now wherever you get your podcasts. We also have the outlap and debrief for all 3 of the latest trackside coverages. Challenge of the Americas at Sonoma, the Superkarts USA Pro Tour Winter Nationals, along with the WKA Charlotte Motor Speedway Karting Challenge. So outlap and debrief for all 3 of those events. We're almost at 80 debriefs. We're almost there. We got this next week, going to get our 80th episode of that.
Lots coming. I've got a couple interviews coming up as well, face-to-face shows. It'll be on YouTube, then, of course, turned into a podcast after that. Going to talk to Brittany Lobaugh from the Texas Sprint Racing Series. We're going to chat with Joe Janowski from the Stars Championship. We'll definitely sit down with Terry Trader from the Quincy Grand Prix, that event back after a year's hiatus again. lot of great content coming out on both our YouTube channel and, of course, the EKN Radio Network. Dave, what do you got lined up? I know I tell people all the time how in the 16 years of what you've done, like me over the 25 years of my time in the sport, how much what I do on a regular basis has changed, right? Like I used to go to these races, not do anything at the race, but announce them and remember what happened, then go back and write the articles to go into the magazine, Shifter Card Illustrated, Super Card Illustrated. Now everything's so immediate that not only do you manage the website, do all the trackside, but you're essentially a radio station manager as well, because you got to set all the schedule for everything that goes out on the EKN Radio Network.
Well, I am the ass behind the glass.
That's it.
So I do take care of all the production of all the podcasts and most of the face-to-face programs and anything digital or audio that we produce. I am the ass behind the glass.
Yeah, hey, Dave, just in case anybody thinks like Wyatt Lloyd, this is your full-time job.
Somebody asked me about that when I was at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. I forgot who asked me that. But yeah.
Did somebody ask you what you do full time?
No, it wasn't that. It was like this. You do this full time, don't you?
Yeah.
Or is this what you do full time? I'm like, yes. This is. Well, what do you do actually?
Yeah, it's 40 exactly. 40 hours a week and 19 weekends a year. Yeah, it's full time.
Yeah. 100% so.
Full-time. Anyways, so what do we got going? What are you playing on the network?
Right now as we speak, the outlap for the United States Pro Kart Series Heartland Grand Prix event. So get the tidbits and who we think are going to be among the front runners playing right now on the EKN Radio. This episode of This Week in Karting, or This Month in Karting, will be playing on the radio tomorrow, which will be April 29th. It'll be playing all day. And we'll also have some recent podcasts and other shows playing over the weekend as we do our trackside live coverage.
One quick thing to mention to everybody as well, as you know, we're obviously always expanding where that we put our content. We've been doing a lot of stuff on YouTube. That's where we do our face-to-face live shows. A lot of our shows are live on YouTube. We take that content and then go to podcasts. If you want to go back and listen to some of the old races as well, David's starting putting those up now. So if let's say you missed the SCUSA Winter Series or Winter Nationals at NOLA or the Challenge of the Americas at Sonoma, and you want to go back and listen to all the action from our EKN Trackside Live, those are all available on YouTube as well. We'll push that out on our email bulletin too, the EKN Nation email bulletin. But we're putting a lot of content on YouTube for those that like the YouTube platform as well.
Yeah, some do, some don't. And I don't I'm glad we're not doing This Week in Karting in a face-to-face atmosphere. I was not ready. Okay, my hair's not done. I know. Just not ready.
I know. We need to get you into the salon again to get those frosted tips back. So
that's right. The Alan Rudolph frosted tips. Come on.
There it is. So let's wrap things up here, folks. What's coming up on EKN? Well, a couple of EKN Trackside Live events. David, of course, it's Wednesday right now, April 28th. He's going to be hitting the road Friday morning. Dave, is when you're heading to Newcastle. Or you're going to go
Friday morning, yes.
Friday morning.
Early Friday morning, head down to Newcastle Motorsports Park. Get to take in rounds 3 and 4 and provide live coverage all weekend long with Tim Coyne on the mic and Allie Long on the switches for scoring.
Of the United States Pro Kart Series. I hadn't mentioned what it was yet. So April 30th to May 2nd, United States Pro Kart Series, Newcastle Motorsports Park this coming weekend. Trackside Live, of course, all the coverage. And then another 2 weeks down the line, David and I will reunite back at Utah Motorsports Campus out in Grantsville for the 3rd and 4th rounds of the SuperKarts USA Pro Tour. It'll be the Spring Nationals, May the 21st to the 23rd. Love getting out to Utah. Really looking forward to that event. Do we remember last time we were there? We had a fantastic burger. We all went out for burgers that one night. I'm gonna source out another burger place because we got to have another good one. I think.
Yeah, that was right by the ballpark.
That's it.
That was actual. Oh man, why can't I think of his name? Brandon from RPG. That was his home bar. He literally is a couple blocks away. So. And M squared. So that was a good one. We'll have to research, but yeah, that weekend is going to be two versions of reuniting. Me and you reuniting, and me and In-N-Out Burger reuniting.
That's very true. And just to remember, the place we went was called Lucky 13.
Lucky 13, correct.
Lucky 13 was the burger place we went to. We'll definitely go to another one for sure there. But yeah, we'll be back. David will get reunited with, sadly, the plainest burger you could possibly get from In-N-Out. Like, folks, if you're an In-N-Out fan, it's obviously double, right? Animal style. I bang a little chopped chilies in there sometime. David Cole is literally triple meat, mustard, and ketchup. It blows me away, but dude, you love it. So good for you.
You like what you like. That's all I can say. And nothing wrong with a little bun and meat.
All right. That's very true. All right, folks, we're done. Again, follow us on all our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We're very active on all three of those platforms. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do that. Get over there. David's posting onboard shots from all the events we're at. We're, of course, doing face-to-face shows. So there's going to be a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing on YouTube. It's going to be one of our primary platforms over the next, 1 to 2 years, whatever. We'll keep evolving. But yeah, we're using a lot of YouTube. So make sure you go over and subscribe there. Otherwise, we are done with this edition of This Week in Karting. Thank you so much for joining us. Big shout out to A-Max Racing being our presenting sponsor of the show. Great to have them on board as a valued partner of ekartingnews.com. We're done. David's heading to USPKS Newcastle this weekend. We're back racing again, EKN Trackside Live. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.